Hey there, everyone. Scott Hashay here, and today I have a special guest with me here, Ryan Gunness, and he is going to be sharing with us how he was successful in network marketing using just a few simple steps. And he's actually going to show us today a little bit about how he actually targeted networkers specifically in order to make it work. So, Ryan, welcome to the call.
Hey Scott, how you doing?
Oh yeah, doing great, doing great. So we're excited to have you here, and we wanted to find out and pick your brain a little bit about more about how you actually made this work with targeting networkers. So first of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started in network marketing?
Well, um, I'm originally from Trinidad in the Caribbean. So when I migrated to New York, I somehow stumbled into the barbershop field, and I was a barber for many years. I was cutting on average 125 haircuts a week, and so I was pretty busy. And one of my customers invited me to a meeting, and I took him up on it, and I remember going up into on a Sunday afternoon to this room, and the guy started drawing all these circles on the board and everything, and I couldn't sleep for days. I was just so excited about the possibilities of the industry, and that was my first stab at it, and like a lot of people, I failed miserably. And you would think, hey, I had 125 people sit in my chair every single week. I wasn't out of, I had a short, I didn't have a shortage of people, but I didn't know exactly how to invite people, and I did not know a lot of stuff that we're talking about right now as far as targeting the right group. So that's how I got started, and then a few years later, I moved from New York to Florida. I got involved with actually the same company that I had quit, and found a mentor, and he taught me some strategies that led up to where we're at today with targeting network marketers.
Excellent. Well, now of course the big question that a lot of people are going to ask here is that you started off struggling in your network marketing business. What was that number one thing that you switched in your approach and what you did for your business that actually made a huge difference?
You know, um, I would say that it's not, there's a couple skills that you have to master in order to grow a network marketing business. One is, being able to properly invite people to have the opportunity to say yes, they're open to taking a look at your business. And then two is, as you get good at that, then moving that energy into focusing on the right market, which is target and network marketers. And I'll say this. I'll give you a little analogy. We're in football season right now, and if a coach or a team, if they need a guy that can kick a 50-yard field goal, well, a good strategy to save time would be to just go recruit somebody that can kick a 50-yard field goal already.
Makes
Agreed?
sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. And that's why target and network marketers. So if you're taking notes in this conversation right now, if you have a list of network marketers, however you got that list, they only fall into four areas: A's, B's, C's, and D's. So if you're taking notes, write A's, B's, C's, and D's. Okay, so let's say we have a list of, call it 5,000, 10,000 network marketers. 90% of that list are going to be in the C or D category. Okay, a D is a person that you sponsor into your business, and in the course of 12 months, they put in maybe two or three people in your business. They don't do much, that's it. A C will probably bring in 15 to 20, maybe 30 people in a year. Then a B will bring in maybe 35 to 70, under 100 people in a year. And then an A will bring in two, three, four, 500 plus people in a year. So obviously, as a network marketer, if we're growing our business, it makes sense to go get the A's and the B's, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, who's a A and a B per se. And sometimes a C becomes an A, or a D becomes a C, and then move their way up. But when you're targeting network marketers, what happens is you increase the probability of attracting B's and A's. And what I mean by that is statistically, 90% of C's and D's. So chances are you're going to recruit a lot of C's and D's. But those people will lead you to the B's and A's because they may have been sponsored by a B or A in a previous program, and they've been to conventions together, and they had home parties together, and they shook hands, and they sit around a campfire, and they sang kumbaya together. So they have a relationship there. And what we have seen in this strategy is sometimes we bring in somebody that was not really a big player, but they had a connection to someone that led us to someone that could go put in 5,000 people in the business because they've done that, over the course of their career, before. Make sense?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
that's why recruiting network marketers is what I consider the fastest way to get there. Just like my analogy with the, if you need a guy to kick a 50-yard field goal, go after people that can kick a 50-yard field goal already, or people that know that person. So that's why network marketers, because you'll find the A's and B's directly, or you'll find them indirectly by finding somebody that leads you to that person. Make sense?
Absolutely makes sense to me. Now, for the people that are on watching this video right now, if they wanted to start implementing this type of a strategy into their business right now, what would you suggest they start off doing?
Well, you know, finding network marketers are not it's not very hard. In the Home Success Pro system, we show you a simple way, to go on to Google and do these little searches, and you can find network marketers pretty much for free. Okay. There's other things you can go out there and you can find lists that you can buy, that's available. So it's not very hard to go find network marketers if this is a new concept for you. So you go ahead and you either use what we teach and you find network marketers, or you go buy a list, whatever, and then we've perfected a very simple approach that politely invites people in this particular fashion, where you can call on these people and politely invite them to take a look at your business. Now, I'm going to say there's twofold to this. There's a strategy of inviting people to take a look at your business because you're actively growing your business. But then there's also the strategy of building a relationship with people, whether they are in a place where they're recruitable or not. And you need to have two going at the same time. So that's what we have did. We've figured out a way to make the invitation, and if somebody is not recruitable, still be able to create an opportunity to build a relationship with them, because a lot of those people will end up becoming recruitable at some point, and you want to be able to have that relationship when you're ready to work with them.
Well, that makes complete sense to me as well, because there's a lot of people that I've talked to in the past that may not be interested in exactly what I'm doing right now. But hey, by keeping in touch with them and being in front of them on a consistent basis, you know what? When it does come time for a switch, or if they need to take a deeper look into something else, you know what? It's always good to be right in front of them, right?
Totally. I call this the migration factor. If somebody is new to this concept, they like, when I was first introduced to this, I was like, why go after network marketers? I mean, they involved in something else already. I just couldn't get the concept. But once we started to apply this, I ended up learning that, you know, there's a migration that happens. A lot of times people are involved in the industry and they're not really active with the program that they joined a couple of years ago, or something happens. A company goes out of business. We've seen people move from one state to another and they needed to switch companies. We've seen people got a divorce, and things that happen, life circumstances that created a situation where someone needed to migrate to another company. And if you have a relationship with them, you'll get them. And you need to have the relationship beforehand. If you ever seen in your company somebody on another team or something recruit some superstar, and in a couple of weeks they put in a few thousand people, and you're like, how did they do that? Well, trust me, they had a relationship with that superstar before they actually brought them in. And it could have been a relationship that they've developed for years. Okay, so you have to have this going, or you're not going to be able to do this effectively. Make sense?
Makes complete sense. Of course, amazing how doing networking actually is all about doing networking, right? Actually talking to the bigwigs and obviously making relationships. Because you're right, when it does come time for a switch or they want to explore different options, you want to be at least somebody that they want to talk to first, for sure.
Yep, totally.
Well, excellent. So, if you do want to get started and start putting these into place right now, what we're going to suggest here is to take a look at the bottom of this video right now. There's a link, and you can actually just click on that right now to get started. As well as I would like to also ask you to join us on our video channel with YouTube. So just make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And Ryan, thank you so much for joining us here today. You've given us lots of great information, and we hope to see lots more great training out of you coming into the back office of the Home Success Pro system.
Cool. All right, Scott. Have a nice day.
All right, thank you so much, and take care, buddy.